Good morning, Ravindranath, and welcome to this exclusive interview with Food Infotech. I'm Michelle Dennis, and we welcome Ravindranath J from Zentron Labs. And today we will have an exclusive interview with him. So I'll start, Ravindranath, by asking you to give us an introduction of yourself and tell us more about your background, education, etc.
So, good morning, Miss Michelle. Thank you so much for having me on this show. So, myself, Ravindranath. I'm from Zentron Labs. We are a Bangalore-based deep tech company. I head the business for Hortisort. So, Zentron has two divisions: one for agri-tech and one for manufacturing sector. So, the division which looks after agri is named by the brand name Hortisort. So, I look after the business for Hortisort.
Ravindranath, we'll go and straight away ask you to tell us more about Zentron Labs and Hortisort so that our listeners can know more about it.
Sure, yeah. So, like I told, Zentron Labs, we are based in Bangalore. Uh, Zentron Labs was founded in 2012. Our CEO and founder, Mr. Krishnan R, he is an IIT Madras alumni, and this was his idea to make this products, right, to get it to enter
Yes,
this space. So broadly, this space is called as vision robotics. Vision robotics in the sense we use camera optics to capture the images, and then the software behind it to analyze these images and then take a call. Say say like a person can see a good fruit and a bad fruit and take a call, right? So this technology will, with cameras as eyes and software as its brain, and actuators as hands, it will take decisions saying which is the good fruit and which is the bad fruit, uh, in a very in such terms, right? So vision robotics is a very deep area, so which can be applicable in all sectors, starting from medical. Today you might have seen the vision robotics, right? You might have seen doctors doing operations remotely, right? So robots performing operations
yes.
today. To that level, precision has been achieved in this sector, and we as Zentron, we wanted to create an IP in this sector, right? IP. So mostly what happens in India, they just buy some components from other countries and they assemble and then they give solutions. But we wanted to create the IP, like the entire software is written and built here, and then the concepts are built here. So we are building up systems from scratch. So like we have our entire army of team, like from software, algorithms, design, mechanical assembly, electrical assembly, electronic design. So completely is from scratch built here, and then we provide the full solutions to customer. That was the idea. Otherwise, what happens if you go to other companies, right? They are just integrators. So for any other issue,
Yeah.
they are dependent on their principals. Say some component of a machine has a problem, then they have to talk to the different partner who supplied it. So on and so forth, right? So, but we wanted to have on everything in house, like a proper Indian product where we can sell it globally. That was the vision, yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I'll ask you now to tell us what was the aspiration by the founders to establish Zentron Lab?
So the aspiration, right? Like I earlier mentioned, it's connected. Being from IIT Madras and working for some very good MNCs and creating IP for the Western countries, right? They were uh, so they thought, I think we have to come back, and the talent which is like going outside and creating IP for other countries, they wanted to create IP in India. So they had achieve great things in their life, and they wanted to come back and see how they can contribute to the technology ecosystem in India. So that's the idea, basically, to I mean, whatever the knowledge they have acquired over these years, they want to make India into a product nation. So starting in 2012, building a hardware product is not so easy. So they took the tough path, and today we are the pioneers in vision inspection systems in both agriculture and manufacturing in India.
Wow, that's wonderful. Uh, so, what is the importance? Can you elaborate more on the importance of fruit grading in agricultural practices?
Okay, so see, the fruit grading as a technology was there in Europe probably 40, 50 since 40, 50 years. See, primarily why you need fruit grading is, right? So, say Europe. Well, let's talk about Europe and then come to India. Say there we have labor issues, right? There is a shortage of labor. There's a shortage of labor, and we have and they cannot grow fruits throughout the year. So you need to grow it in a certain period and then store it for rest of the, say, in 3 months in a year they grow, and rest 9 months in a year they need some good storage system to store the fruits and vegetables so that they can consume it year round. So in that quest they wanted to automate the entire horticulture space. So if you broadly divide the agriculture, right, agriculture and horticulture, agriculture is fairly mechanized. Agriculture is fairly mechanized, but horticulture is still not mechanized. So they wanted to mechanize horticulture. So they wanted to store fruits which can be used after a long time, right? For the entire season. Say after you harvest, they wanted to store it for 6 months or 9 months and then eat it, and they wanted the market to be open for next 9 months. So they started building cold stores. Now starting from building cold stores, you need technologies to handle all these fruits, starting from harvesting the fruit to grading, cleaning the fruit, and then storing the fruit. So then the basic idea was to mechanize this process. So that is what has led to this fruit grading machinery. So how they can segregate the fruits and then store it in the cold store, or segregate the fruits to be sold locally, segregate the fruits to be exported. These were all manual. Slowly they have become like very large companies today, and that has given push for such fruit grading mechanisms.
Okay, so how does fruit grading impact export processes in India? And do you have any specific instances to illustrate this?
Right. So when we started in 2016, we started it with a specific problem, and the Punjab government wanted to export kinnos to Russia. This is in 2016 when there was an ISIS war. Then, since India and Russia had good relations, they wanted India to supply kinno to Russia. And when they supplied kinno to Russia, and they found that most of the fruits had to be thrown because by the time it reached Russia, it was all the fruits had got spoiled, and they understood that they wanted technology to grade the fruits based on which fruit can stay for a longer time, right? So if you put a overripe fruit, or if you put a damaged fruit, if you put a rotten fruit which can affect another other fruit, right, it will immediately spoil the entire box. So your post harvest losses were very, very high. So you need such technologies to no take out all the bad fruits and only send the good fruits which has longer shelf life and which can stay till it reaches the other country. So that is when we were approached by Punjab government, since we had already exported software to this grading software to Europe. We They knew about us and they approached us saying if we can develop this technology for them. That is how we got into this line. And since then our we have been working with a lot of exporters and building in such technologies which has helped them in exporting their fruits, reducing their post harvest losses.
Okay, so right now, with the increase of use of AI and machine learning as a technology in most industries, how much of AI and ML do you all use at Zentron Labs?
Um, yeah, so I think now AI ML the words are being used by every other company, but let me give you a simple example where the viewers can understand. So if you take an apple, right? If you take an apple, there is a stem and the calyx, right? The stem is on top and the bottom is the calyx. So a human being knows that the stem and the calyx is not the defect, right? And if you have some other black spots on the apple, that is the defect. So imagine writing a software where you can differentiate between a good apple and a bad apple, leaving around the stem and the calyx. So you have to see 360 degree of the apple and only pick up the defects which are not stem and calyx. So this kind of you need more data. You need to use AI for this. This we had done it in 2015-16 and exported the software to Europe. So since then we are using even more technologies in AI and ML in our software, in our grading line, so that our efficiencies are better and we can give much better results to our customers.
Can you now tell us about some more insight into the global reach of Zentron Labs, particularly regarding technology exports?
Currently, we are based in India and we are serving the markets in India. And we had exported the software to Europe, right? Otherwise, the main goal of Zentron is in India is to be an import substitution, right? So today you see a lot of machines which are imported from Europe and China, Japan, other different countries. So we are creating or we are developing these technologies on par with these imported ones and replacing the imported ones with Indian machines to start with. So where we have shown the market that Indian machines are on par with European machines, and in some cases we have been much better than European machines. So we have on our other line, not in agri-tech, the other division, which we do quality inspection systems. We have supplied a lot of quality inspection machines to Japanese and German companies. So that talks about our technological capability, where we are able to replace Japanese and German machines in the OEMs in India. So where they felt our software and IoT is much better than the imported ones, because we were on par in mechanical, but we have gone ahead in terms of software usability. We understand the user, and the Indian market is different. The Indian operators are different. The way the Indian company use the machine is different. So with that knowledge, we have developed the UI, everything around it, so that makes them even more attractive to Zentron.
All right. Now let's talk about one of your flagship products, the Hortisort Compact Optical Grader. Please tell us more about this machine.
Okay, so in Hortisort, right? So it's a fruit grading machine. So we what we initially did was we saw a few imported machines. So we tried to compete with them and benchmark with them, right? So and then later on, when we met a lot of customers, we understood that Indian market is different, right? We have a lot of issues in terms of space, in terms of cost, in terms of power, in terms of seasonalities. So with that, the demand was to have a smaller machine where which can occupy lesser space and at a low cost, and which definitely will serve the small farmers, a group of small farmers. So this product is called compact optical rotary grader. So this one can do around 1 ton per hour apples, and it occupies only like 20 by 20 feet space. In 20 feet by 20 feet space, we can put a size, color, weight optical grader. Right? This is first in the world. It has been patented. It's first in the world, which can do in a compact rotary form factor. We can do size and color and weight grading of fruits. And we already have sold these machines in Himachal and other areas, and for mango regions also. Yeah.
That's wonderful to know. Please tell us now about the future plans of Zentron Labs. Are you all planning to expand in some other countries as well?
Yes. So let me just give a quick uh, background. So since our investor is Zoho being our investor and mentor, so Zoho's vision also is also a tagline, which is like made in India and made for the world. And we believe that if we are able to successfully build a complete product and test in India and have a happy and successful customers in India, we will be able to be successful anywhere in the world. Because India gives us an opportunity of being a very tough environment in terms of right. We have climates from Kashmir ranging from -20. Our machines are operating in -20 in Kashmir, and in Nagpur region at like close to 50 degrees Celsius. Right, we have this variation in terms of temperature, and the conditions are like, in terms of very dusty conditions. And we have been proved this machine since last 4 or 5 years, which is we had a quite amount of learning. So with that, we feel we have developed a global product which can be used in any continent, right? Any continent. Right now, um, we were also selected by jointly by Indian and Brazilian government in a program called Indo-Brazil Maitri event, where top five agri startups from Brazil and top five agri startups in India were selected, and they were formed like a joint incubation program where we got an access to the Brazilian market and the Brazilian startups got access to the Indian market. So there we want to initially enter with the government, because government of Brazil and government of India are supporting us in taking this technology to Brazil. So we are looking at entering Brazil and other regions.
Come to our last question. So, what sets Zentron Labs apart in this competitive landscape, and how does it approach problem solving in the agricultural sector?
So yeah, I think that's the core of the problem, right? Core why, I mean, it's like why we exist. So we are a technology company, right? So we want to make this technology to be accessible by the farmers and the growing community to increase their revenue, or no, maybe expand their business. So we want to develop tools which can help Indian horticulture space expand, and also help them export our horticulture produce to different countries. Today, you might have been eating a lot of fruits from different countries, right? Say today there are even fruits coming from Peru to India. Probably they're sailing for 40, 50 days in the ship, and then they're reaching our shores. And today, in a supermarket, with the click of an app, we're able to buy fruits from any continent. And definitely, Indian farmers and Indian horticulture produce also should reach out to any part of the world. So, would like to create and develop and work with technologies which will enable Indian farmers and producers go reach out to the global audience.
That's the need of the hour, actually. And we are very grateful to you, Ravindranath, for readily agreeing to come on the interview and join us today on Food Infotech. So we look forward to some more meaningful partnerships with you and Haughty Sort. So thank you so much and have a wonderful day ahead.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you so much for having me. So we also look forward to more such meaningful interactions. Thank you.